But to kick things off, let's talk about Atlas. Or I should say, I will talk about Atlas, right?
Right.
This dropped a few days ago on Netflix, and I just decided to watch it. Just sticking with the whole post-apocalyptic theme of this episode here, right? So what
Right.
it's about, right? It centers on, well, the character of Atlas Shepard, right, who is played by Jennifer Lopez, right? She's an analyst. I should mention too, this is in the not too distant future, and AI has become sentient to the point that it has taken over. All the it's basically Judgment Day now, right? So all the like
Right.
AI like appliances and like droids and whatnot just turn on their makers, and it's all chaos and all that kind of stuff, right? And then now AI itself has put their trust, if you will, into a terrorist, right? An actual terrorist, well, a humanoid terrorist by the name of Harlan Shepard, who is played by Simu Liu, right? So yeah, his goal is just like, you know what, yeah, let's just take over the world, right? But years ago, I believe it's like 25 years ago or something like that, he just literally just jump into like this spaceship, if you will, and just flew away, right? And now, well, this army pretty much has figured out, oh, he's on this particular planet, and we're not really sure what he's up to, right? So or I should say, well, the leader of it, that would be General Jake Booth, who is played by Mark Strong, right? DJ Mark Strong. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're gonna send this task force up there into space, and we're gonna find this guy and bring him into justice, right? And also tagging along is Colonel Elias Banks, who is played by Oscar nominee Sterling K. Brown, right? So Atlas now, I should mention too that Harlan was actually a house droid. Like he actually was there for Atlas's family, and then some circumstance happened, and she might have got killed by him. And well, you actually learn what really happened, right? So yeah, she has all this like she wants to seek vengeance on Atlas, right? And she's been studying this guy for years, so she know how he moves, all that kind of stuff, right? So surprise, surprise, in Ellen Ripley form, that's a little red flag right there. Yeah, she tags along now, and she goes there. She goes with the team, right? So what happens is that on the way down to the planet, Harlan's strike forces attack the ship itself. And I should mention too, just another red flag here. I mentioned Ripley. So yes, we're going into aliens territory now. Yes, they have like these, bots, right? Or sorry, they have like these mechs, sorry, right? So yeah, everybody who in the mechs pretty much get wiped out. Elias is the one who kind of survived, but he's in a critical condition, even though he was in a mech as well. But also Atlas was in a mech as well, but she don't really know the mechanics around it, right? The point of all this is that in that specific mech that she's in, there's an AI by the name of Smith, who is voiced by Gregory James Cohan. I've never heard of this guy before. Yeah, you know what I mean? He pretty much helped her survive the attack and eventual crash landing onto this planet, right?
I think, okay, so I think I see the trailer for this, and it really kind of look a little bit like Titanfall as well.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah, especially with the mech use and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So long story short, now Atlas is injured and she's in the mech suit and whatnot, and Smith pretty much saves her, but they have to form this sort of bond, if you will, right? So they have to work together. She's basically seeing what he's seeing, you know what I mean, all the processes that he's processing, and he's pretty much understanding, her as a human and all that kind of stuff. And together they go out to save Elias and stop Harlan in this, planet, right? And I'll stop there, right?
Right.
So, as I mentioned, Ellen Ripley and aliens. The biggest problem about this show here is that this is derivative as all hell.
Oh no!
It just borrows from so much
J-Lo
sci-fi films.
J-Lo on Netflix, yeah, big surprise.
I know, but the last film that she was in on Netflix was The Mother, which was alright. But just like this one here, Atlas, it's kind of forgettable though. Like I would say it like this, right? If you have nothing better to do and you just want to fire up some film and on Netflix, you want to see some new, but you want it to be all flashy and expensive looking and whatnot, you can watch this. It's fine, right? It's fine for what it is, but it's far from perfect though. Really,
that's like that's some of the faintest praise I've heard in a long time.
I know,
but you want a show that looks expensive? Well, this is the show for you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the weird thing about this show, right? As derivative as the plot is, right? I don't know what it was, right? But and when I call a name, y'all will probably understand why I have this issue with the film, right? So I should say like wow, one of the production companies involved in this, right, is Berlanti
Oh no.
Schechter Films. I believe that's how pronounced it, right?
Oh, no,
The moment
God.
I saw that name, Berlanti, as in Greg Berlanti,
I know that.
I was like, oh,
Wait,
that's why.
wait a minute.
That's
Wait a
why.
minute. The
Yeah.
TV show guy?
Yes, the
Okay.
showrunner
Oh,
behind
no.
the Arrowverse, right?
Right.
Yep, him. Because yes,
Oh.
while I was watching this show here, them visuals were
Yeah.
as flashy and as video
I
game
mean,
inspired as they are.
we talk about Roger Corman. Like I don't think what do you call him? Blumhouse is the real inheritor of Roger Corman. Berlanti is the inheritor of Roger Corman. That
Really?
boy
Okay.
that boy knows to stretch a budget.
Yeah, boy. That's a perfect term. Stretch a budget, boy. Because
Yeah.
yes, I'm watching the visual effects in this, right? And as flashy and as video game inspired as they look, boy, they look kind of cheap, boy, compared to like what you would see in a Hollywood blockbuster movie. So it's like this, all right. So I only saw the series premiere of Halo, right? But I would say shows like Halo, like TV shows that are reliant on visual effects to sell. Oh, it's robots and it's it's the future and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's not gonna be at the level of say a Hollywood movie. It's not gonna be at the level, let's say, of a Denis Villeneuve film, right, or a George Miller film, right? But you need the visuals to tell the story, unfortunately, right? But when you're seeing it, it's just like, yeah, but they could have do this a lot better, right? Like they're not trash, they're not genuine trash, right? But it looks so artificial, like nearly every use of it looks so artificial. It almost takes you out of the show every time you see it, right? But again, it's one of those things where you kind of have to understand, okay, like, all right, this is how it had to be, it's not a Hollywood film, okay? But then again, there's a Netflix show though, and Netflix,
Right.
like, I don't know the mechanics behind, Netflix productions, behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff though. But like, I'm sorry, like with names like with Jennifer Lawrence, right? Sorry, Lopez and Simu Liu and Sterling K. Brown, right? It's almost as if like they get the majority of the money in this production.
Yeah,
right?
just
Like,
right.
yeah,
Just
what,
touch your
like,
name on it. Yeah.
yeah, like these visuals are like, again, they're not trash, right? But it's just
Right, but they're
so
still
unpolished though. Yeah, that's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're seeing this for like about a 2 hours, so it's just like oof, like ugh, jeez, right? But yeah, but again, I was just watching these scenes like, they could have do this better, like, but it kind of is what it is, right? The acting is fine for what it is, and what I will give the show credit for is that it does have a good amount of heart to it. Like you do understand
Okay.
why Atlas is the way she is. She's really pent up and angry and whatnot, and you understand why she has this not a love-hate relationship. She just flat out hates AI, and it seems kind of hokey and dumb at first, but like when you really understand the character, like, oh, I get it, right?
Wait, wasn't this Will Smith's arc in iRobot?
That's what I was about to say, because another show that they were pulling that they're referencing is iRobot. Yes, and that leads to the character of Smith, because pound for pound, Smith is literally like the robot from iRobot. Whereas like, okay, I know you, I'm smarter than you, human, as in Will Smith. So anytime you try to tell me some kind of bullshit or you try to be snarky, I will talk back to you. Like I'll never forget like anybody remember like how big of a deal iRobot was, like the hype surrounding iRobot.
Yeah. No, I remember.
Watches, like, that was cool. Not mind blowing, but it was right.
Well, okay. My problem with iRobot is that you look at the director. I mean, okay, to be fair, at the time, you look at the director and you go, I mean, this is good, but this is the man who made The Crow and Dark City. So I mean,
yeah.
Like, okay. I mean, since then he's gone on to do Gods of Egypt, which really put iRobot into perspective.
Oh, wait, David Proyas do that? Oh god.
Yeah,
I forgot
Alex
that.
Proyas.
I forgot
Alex
that.
Proyas, yeah, he made Gods of Egypt.
Wow, that is sad, but yeah.
No. Oh.
Yeah. But they'll never forget there's this moment where I'll get back to Atlas a bit, but there's this moment where the robot was doing this drawing, and I think that was when, at the time Will was like, you know what, I hate robots, blah blah blah, and like he's talking about, like that's when he started talking about the whole three functions of a robot, the whole Asimov stuff, and I think there was a moment where he says, like it was Will kind of questioning the robot how he could do the things he could do now, you know what I mean?
He say,
And then he say, can you? Right.
Yeah,
kind of talking like, oh, like, can you do what I'm doing here right now? So no, shut up, right? So they kind of do something like that now, where it's like Smith saying, I know all these things, I know all this, stuff about health, I know how to heal you, because yes, Atlas is injured at a point in time, right? But she's like, no, I don't want to help, and stop, leave me alone, all kind of stuff. Now, so it's that kind of back and forth that really did remind me of iRobot, right? But yeah, so it's iRobot, it's aliens, it's whatever dystopian sci-fi you could think about involving, I would even say like Terminator 3, Rising the Machines, and Salvation. It has bits of that too, you know what I mean? So yeah, none of this unfortunately feels like original at all, right? But I will say though that the back and forth with Atlas and Smith works. I think Smith itself, even though it's an AI character, is the heart of the show, and it, I can't even say he, but it really makes the show work, and it brings a lot of heart to the show, right? So, I could talk about the iffy quality of the VFX and the derivative story for these and whatnot, but the heart and soul of the show really comes from the bond between Atlas and Smith, right? And it's fine. I mean, that's okay, right? Simu is okay as a villain, like when he's there, he's really, really intimidating. But there's not enough of him in the show though for me to be like, all right, yeah, he's a villain that I should really like look out for. Like he just does his thing, and when he's in the third act, it's a CG version of him, and it's CG because again, iffy quality of the VFX, blah blah. Sully K. Brown does what Sully K. Brown does. There's even a moment where I was like, okay, I hope that he's not gonna do the Twinkies thing from the Predator. I really hope he's not gonna do that. But he was this close to doing the whole. All right, the Swami style, the Swami kind of acting style that he's known for. Like he was this close to doing it, but I was like, all right, he kind of reserve himself. Like, all right. Can you remember he got nominated for Oscar this year? So it's like, okay, we're not gonna do the Predator anymore. We're not gonna do that. No. I want an Oscar, so let's take it easy, right? But even he himself wasn't really utilized all that well. So at the end of the day, it's really a Jennifer Lopez show, and yeah, I mean, she was fine too. You know what I mean? She did what she did. She brought the heart into the show. I will say that early on, her dialogue was like terrible, like just badly written. It's not like she was delivering it badly, but it was just so hokey and just cheesy.
She's not really being given good stuff to work with in the first place.
That's the problem. But like the moment when Smith comes into the story and she has to emote more and really be emotional, that's when it works, right? So yeah, when all is said and done, it's fine, but it is really forgettable and disposable. It's on Netflix, so I mean, if you're just really, really, really have nothing else better to do, and I guess, and I don't know, just to close things off, it's kind of interesting where J-Lo is at this stage in her career, right? Because I had to remind myself while watching this, you have an album out right now, and I haven't listened to it as yet. She was on SNL performing a couple songs on SNL from the album.
Yeah, she was pushing herself around, because she was on SNL the other day. She pushing herself up for something, but I'm not sure why.
Yeah, and she has her own production company, Neurican Productions, and like, yeah, that's cool, right? So, and to the point again, that is that I don't know if like diehard J-Lo fans are talking about like people who were watching her romantic comedies and dramas in the 2000s. I don't know if this movie is for them. I really can't say, in terms of her fan base. I don't know. But again, I guess it's just if you're into dystopian sci-fi, I guess you'll appreciate it, boy. But it's just the visuals will take you out of the show a lot. And yeah, we've seen this story 1,000,001 times. So the point that, yeah, you can literally see what the end coming a mile away, right? So it's like that. Yeah, so rating wise, I'll just be charitable with it. I'll just give this a very 2.5 out of 5. See it if you want to. It's on Netflix, but it's 2 hours. So I guess if you really have nothing to do for 2 hours, yeah, watch it. It won't hurt. But trust me, after a day or two, you'll probably forget this movie even came out, right? So it is what it is. But yeah, whatever. Watch it.
Know. Why is it that real talk, because I actually haven't been keeping up with new releases all that much. What was the last great movie Netflix put out?
That is a great question.
Like
That is a
I'm
great question.
really curious. Like when the because like
Off the top of my head, but El Conde, probably.
Oh, right, El Conde.
Oh,
Yes. I
okay.
love that. But that was, but yeah, that made it to both of our favorite films of last year, right?
Right.
But I do imagine a lot of people saw that it was just. I think it's because of, not even because the director involved. It's just because of how much great reviews it got. I saw
Right.
it. I loved it. You saw it too, Ricardo. Loved it as well. And I think it's because it got nominated this year for an Oscar. I guess that's why. Hopefully, people checked it out. But I don't think a lot of people like gravitated to it, though. Unfortunately, right? But yeah,
I have a copy friend procured for me. I need to watch it. Like I've heard nothing but good things. I mean, I've heard it's weird, but like I like weird. So
Yeah, and that black and white cinematography, beautiful, right? But yeah,
Right.
you're right though. What was the last great Netflix, movie that had a lot of people talking? I think the problem now is that it's always reliant on the big show. So like the big show that
Right.
I'm still thinking about, even though it wasn't perfect and it didn't really quite work for me, was that last Airbender live action series. That was like the last big release from Netflix.
Right.
Since then it's just been, tepid stuff, really,
Well, is the three body problem getting any reviews?
All right, yes.
Oh, right. But I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that was
okay.
I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, I remember that. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not seeing that Netflix supposed to like promote Atlas or whatnot, but I don't know, but it's just one of those disposable shows. But it's kind of funny. Before we move, it's just kind of funny how disposable it is when you have three big names in the show. Like we're talking about Jennifer Lopez, we're talking about Simu Liu, we're talking about Sterling K. Brown. Like, yeah,
right.
like
We're talking a lot of actors.
Yeah, exactly.
For what sounds like a little bit like a Sci-Fi Channel original movie with bigger budget.
Thank you. That's what it's feeling like.
That's exactly what it is.
They used to put them real cheesy thing at Saturday night. That is that. When I watch that trailer, that's what it feel like.
Yeah. So I don't know, but again, if this is your thing or you just don't want to spend any money to see a sci-fi movie, even though there are two big sci-fi movies out theatrically right now, Dune Part 2 and Furiosa, but if you want to stay home, watch it.
Right.
All right,
you want to watch a sci-fi movie but don't want to go to theaters, this is the film for you.
That's the weird that's like the best way I can describe it. If you don't want to see a sci-fi movie in theaters, you want to stay home and watch one and it looks expensive, looks in quotes, watch this. That's the best I can say. I don't know, it's weird, right? Moving on now, let's talk about what I believe will be a potential, not even a potential, a future cult classic. That would be Boy Kills Will, right? So, Ricardo, if you don't mind, I want you to do the synopsis for this, right? And CC, you're going to be involved in it as well, too, because, we're going to debate the whole idea of, what makes a cult film or potential cult classic in this day and age, right? So, first trailer, I saw it in theaters, actually. I didn't even see it at home. And I was like, all right, I need to see this because it just ticks the the boxes for me when it comes to like these weird out of the box films, right? Sci-fi premise that feels familiar, but you're doing something a little bit different. You have like you're blending genres, so it's not just action, but you're doing dark comedy, you're doing martial arts as well. You know what I mean? And you just have this sort of irreverent vibe to it too, right? So it's gratuitous, it's over the top of the violence, but also darkly funny as well too, right? And one thing that struck me throughout this trailer and in this show here as well too, right, is the use of voiceover narration, right? While Ricardo and I we will debate this too, right? Because they got John Benjamin, aka Bob Belcher, aka Sterling Archer, to do the narration for it, right? Because Boy actually is mute, right? He's mute and deaf. Yeah, deaf and mute, right? So basically what you're hearing is his inner monologue, at specific moments in the film as well, right? But just off the the sort of kinetic feel to it with the violence and the action, all that kind of stuff. I was like, I need to see it, right? And it did come out theatrically, but unfortunately, I didn't get the time to see it in theaters. I think it's because Challengers came out at the same time, right? And CC just let you know, Challengers is great. Yeah, Challenges is
Okay.
fantastic. One of the year's best films. You are gonna love that film, dude. Just with the just the nuances with it, you know what I mean, and the lack thereof. That's all I'll say. Yeah, you will absolutely love this, right? But yeah,
Oh, I'm ready.
yeah. Yeah, so I had a choice. It was either Challengers or Boy Kills World. So I picked Challengers.
Right.
I didn't mind at all, right? But I was shocked that Boy Kills World actually came out last week, digitally, right? And on the subject of that, like last week was kind of weird too because it was the Fall Guy which came out digitally too, and then Civil War came out a couple days ago. I'm like, what going on with theatrical releases these days? Like,
Right.
you're not even giving the show a month to breathe, and all of a sudden they're coming out, digitally.
Don't even get me started.
I don't know, but okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. I could watch it home, and I could talk about it here, right? Anyway, Ricardo, what was Boy Kills World about?
Sure. So we're in some kind of strange dystopian future where it's unclear where he is, but Boy is this kid who grew up in his kind of wealthy family with his little sister, and he will play video games and so on. So, and yeah, then his family was attacked, right? By this kind of head of a clan kind of family, powerful family called I think what is the Vanderkoys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they basically they used to gather people to kill them off in the culling, and Boy, they kill off the parents. Boy leaves Boy for dead, and because he left mute, he gets to find was the actor named Mad Dog from basically Mad Dog from
from the Reed films. I was like,
Right,
what?
right,
I
yeah.
did not know.
Yeah. Right, and then he just had a train him and grew up, but because everything is from the perspective of a mute, he had to get Eldred, and basically they just had to go back and do a big drama with taking down, but have a nice big twist involving one of those characters. Like, well, not a great twist, but okay enough twist, right? And yeah, then we just get a lot of action adventure shenanigans, and I didn't love this because Monkey Man came out just the other day. That's why I couldn't get into this. Monkey Man done.
Oh, I see. But I will make the argument though that both those shows make for a great double feature.
Right.
Though.
So they
make for a great double feature.
complement each other quite well. But Monkey Man just come out, so it's like, well, if they came out at the same time, I watch them at the same time, and I probably enjoyed more. This one is a lot more fun than Monkey Man. Monkey Man's played itself a little more serious. This one is more like kind of borderline parody, and this one is, from an action standpoint, I think done better. Right? It's kind of the raid, but also had that action sequence that feel more like remember that last big fight sequence in Guardians. That it felt like that. A little bit of that kind of thing. And yeah, but I dug the hell out of this. I had a lot of fun. It was wild. Right, I just looking up that Sam Raimi was the producer. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, that makes complete sense.
Bill Skarsgård is great in this. Everything.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about how like the nature of film and the relevance of anime eyes, because basically, we're gonna talk about another movie that have a character with anime eyes. And
Yes.
those anime eyes after this look at something, and then you will immediately via the edit piece together what has to be looked at and what's important simply because of those anime eyes. And he's great in this. Yeah, I forget the character's name. I think it's just Shaman or the Shaman. But
Shaman. Yeah.
Yeah. But my dog from thing. He real hard in this. Shanto Copley. Yeah, he's pretty good in his little small.
And he was also in Monkey Man too.
In Monkey Man, right?
Douchebag as well. Yeah.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah, and then it's just a lot of fun in terms of like the set pieces. It keeps the attention. It's very, very clever and well done. And yeah, this is something that I've complained about. I said that it's kind of a shame that the 2010s never utilized the Red Redemption people more, right? For whatever reason, they keep bringing back ramens in movies and keep fucking it up for some reason, right? They just
G.I. Joe Origins. What? No.
Snake
What
Eyes.
was it called? Snake Eyes. That's what.
No, the one with Mark Wahlberg. The one with there's always
what was Exit something?
Yeah, some crap.
But yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, there's always bringing this bros Ikuwes and Wisem. And well, to me, the biggest one was
sorry. The Expendables 4.
Expendables, yeah, a bunch of them.
Jeez,
But the one that was the least excusable was J.J. Abrams. Like seriously. All of them.
Force Awakens, because my dog was in that show.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What was it? Was some
Kanji Club.
Yeah, Kanji Club.
And they just waste them, Dread. Completely. I was like, bro, them supposed to be the knights around. Get them some lightsabers. What they doing, Dread? Whatever. Yeah. So it was good to see him in this. He was great. You really get a sense of the utilization of that material and very very heavily influenced by the Raid films and what is Garrett Edwards? Edwards.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe so. Yes,
Yeah.
Edward. Yeah.
Those just that style of direction, how the camera moving, how it bouncing around, it keeping you. And they just had a lot. I just had a lot of fun with this. Again, not super deep, more funny than anything, but just good. Like you're just enjoying it. Funny plot thing. Again, the little twist involving one of the characters I thought was good. I don't want to spoil the twist. But that's about it. And yeah, I had fun.
Yeah, me too as well. So just to get this out of the way, didn't love it as much as I wanted to though, but I still
Right.
had fun with it, right? It just does what it's supposed to do. It just gives you this ultra violent video game inspired dystopian story, which yes borrows from films like the Hunger Games series. It does have a bit of the Running Man in it. That actually catch me by surprise. I did not expect the Running Man aspect of it, right? With the performative nature of, oh my god, this is something so terrible, but in this world,
Right.
it's about TV ratings. Yeah, that's some Running Man shit, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Hunger
even
Games,
have
Hunger
little,
Games,
and even have little bits of like rollerball. Like if you remember the original
Yeah,
rollerball,
right.
like the James Caan rollerball. Like I see little bits of that too with the same, the whole it's for television and just how the audience reacts to this stuff basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just that whole culling thing, is straight up Hunger Games, battle
Right.
royale stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't mind that, right? It's the world is that meant to be like some deep super original world, right? It's just
Right.
I understand this because I'm familiar with this before. So okay, when these bad guys show up, I'm supposed to hate them, right? So it's like that, right? And speaking of which, yeah, what I mean, the bad guys are dicks, right? They are assholes, like on purpose. You know what I mean? Whether it's whether it's Shalto Copley or this guy Brett Gelman. I did not expect to see him in it too. He's from Stranger Things as well, right? But yeah, he was the asshole it as well, right? I did not expect to see Famke Janssen. I was like, hey, you in this too? You know what I mean? That I like what they do with her character. That's all I'll say without spoiling it, right?
I think that fella from what's his name, boy? Bushmaster. He was in this.
That's Isaiah Mustafa.
No, that's not him. That's he from Old Spice. It's the Old Spice.
Okay.
Guy. Sorry. Yeah. Somebody Mustafa
okay.
is okay. Nah, confusing. Nah, it's not him. Yeah, the Old Spice guy. Right.
Okay. All right. Well, sorry about that. Yeah. I legit did not even know that Mad Dog from the Raid films was in this film, right?
Yeah,
and yeah,
right.
you know what I mean? As a presence, he works, right?
Mhm.
If I just have one gripe with it though, is that yes, he's non-American, we know, right? We know. But there were clear instances of ADR when it came to him.
Yeah.
Clear. Like there were moments where the camera, they would literally cut away from him and you'll hear him say a line. It's like, ADR. Like nearly every time, Joe. It's like you barely see him say anything. I'm like, dog, like I understand. Like, you could give him a few lines to say though. You know, we just and then use the ADR afterwards. But like, nearly everything was that.
My thing is that we live in this world where you could, it's not AI, but the whole, you could easily do the mouth stuff with the editing. So I don't know why they don't make that effort. That's not expensive. However.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just didn't sell the character for me though. You know what I mean? It just felt like purposeful, like unnecessarily purposeful in my opinion, right? But the star of the show, of course, is Bill Skarsgård. I mean, he just has the look down. The man get chiseled for this, but it's like, okay, like bro, like you will work it out, dude. Like, okay, Bill, okay, do your thing, right? And yeah, he could he sold the physicality of the character, right? Yes, there is a stunt double here or there when it comes to like the the kinetic fight scenes and whatnot, or like if he's flipping or doing whatever, but most times it is Bill that you're seeing on screen, and he commits to that, right?
Wow.
There's the character of June 27, right? Who I did not expect to see this show as well, right? She was played by Jessica Roth, if I got the name wrong, forgive me, right? Last time I saw her was in another potential cult classic called Happy Death Day. Yeah, she was the lead in that, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that she was really good in it as well. I like how they work it into the story, right? as you said, Ricardo, there's a really I thought was a really effective twist. It wasn't mind blowing, I tell you that, right? But for me, when that twist came in, that made me really rethink about what I saw before, because I was watching this show and I was just telling myself, all right, they do this style and then I'm on substance here. Okay, they pull it from the show. Okay. But I just kind of watched it and see how the story played out, right? Just kind of concerned that there's going to be too much style over substance, thinking that, and I'll get to the debate in a bit, is it trying to be a cult film, trying to be a cult classic, right?
I can imagine something like this, like in the mid 2000s, being really pushing the snakes on a plane kind of advertising.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
Understand me? Yeah.
I agree. It had a few
it's so over the
kind of
top.
moments.
Yeah, like it's all about being over the top. It's all about being, strange and unique, right? And yes, there are moments that are, like just legit, like just weird and trippy for the sake of being weird and trippy, right? But they work in the context of the show, right? But then when the twist came in now, even those little trippy moments make sense. Are they like, all right, so it's not like the filmmakers trying to make a cult film and make it weird for the sake of being weird. No, they actually like have a purpose behind these things. I was like, all right, that's nice, right? Let's quick little segue into the whole, what makes a cult film, right? So, many people, even like the late great Roger Corman, will say it's the audience that makes the cult of the cult film, right?
Well, I think what Corman always maintained was that, if like it's whether it's how the audience responds to it, because I think he was responding to films like Snakes on a Plane and films like a lot of the Sci-Fi Channel original stuff, or films that are truly trying to replicate the so bad it's good or so over the top.
The problem. There's a problem with this kind of stuff is that you can't contrive. You can't contrive.
No,
it's a big mistake. The same goes for like negative reviews or these kind of appeals to negative emotions. So Nana culture, same thing. There's an appeal to that whole we need to shit on something. You can't chase that. That is how that happens. And go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about this because that Roadhouse remake from Amazon's coming out this year, and I found myself thinking, like, I think they misunderstood why people like Roadhouse. Right. Like, I think they misunderstood that, like, the thing about the film is that it's this weirdly off, like, not authentic, but like this weirdly like genuine film that's like a very over the top action movie, but it's trying to be an over the top action movie. It just happens to be an over the top action movie, and I feel like that's why Corman always flagged that it's the audience that decides if something is a cult film, right? Like you look at something like Tommy Wiseau. Like Tommy Wiseau did not make The Room with the idea that people would throw plastic spoons at the screen when they watched it, right? Like that's something that the audience themselves came up with as the film was continuing to play at drive-in screenings and like late night shows and things like that. Yeah.
As I mentioned in The Room, it's a shame that they don't have like outdoor football throwing events. It's just about throwing a football, not so much playing football, but just throwing football, right?
In a
tuxedo, right? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but I know. Well, that's just before. Just talking quickly before I get back into the review, right? So I just have this obsession with cult films. Like I love them. I call myself a connoisseur when it comes to these things, right? The stranger, the better, right? So for me, I always kind of have it in my head, like if I were to just make a film that is so different and unique, and then like 5 years from now, somebody calls it a cult classic, how does one go about it, right? But the debate will be, it's not so much about what you do, it's about how the audience responds to it. Like nobody could really make a cult film, right? And then I saw a movie called Mandy, which told me, yes, you can. Because yes, Mandy was done intentionally and purposefully to be like some 80s movie that you see in VHS. Right? It feels like that to me,
Well, here's the thing with that. To be fair, that cheats a little bit because it uses the cult, Mr. Cult steroid that is Nicolas Cage. Right, like
that's right.
That, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right. So it kind of cheats. It kind of cheats a little bit. But no, I mean, to me, even Mandy was just more like just a retro thing, not really a cult film on its own right. Like it was just it just conceded to retro aesthetics. I don't know. Like
it did. It was pulling out a lot from 80s, horror.
Right. Exactly. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've grown to distrust this very deliberate like appeal to kitsch or nana culture, whatever you want to call it. Right.
All have. I think we've all it's one of the things about being in this age of pop culture that we live in is that like Mandy is a good example of how to do that because I think about that particular filmmaker Cosmatos, and I think about how he clearly is actually like this is his actual style. This is the kind of actual thing. Like you look at his first film, like Beyond the Black Rainbow, right? Which is also
I saw that. That shit is weird.
Right.
But great weird.
And the reason that film like had a cult following, but not like Mandy, is that like it's the same film. I mean, it's not the same film, but like it doesn't have the Nicolas Cage benefit to it, right? So it doesn't quite capture it. But I know a lot of people who like went back and like watched that film because they saw Mandy and really liked it. I'm putting myself in that category. His episode of Del Toro's series Cabinet of Curiosity is a similar vibe, but like it's very clear that this is his genuine style. He's not.
Thank you. There's an authenticity to it that you have to have.
Okay, I understand.
That's where the authenticity comes because like he clearly like wants to make films in this style. Like he made one back when it wasn't popular. I feel like a lot of the reason a lot of us distrust a lot of the what is clearly deliberate is we're like you're trying to evoke authentic films in an inauthentic way. Yeah,
you can't do that. Right.
No, exactly.
Right. Okay. Well, I understand.
People once you do that, people will taste the sawdust in the meat.
Yes.
That's the problem with it. It's like, we get it. You're trying to do this, but like, no.
Well, and
there's a real there, and you have to do it. It had to be so weird that it had to be kind of borderline on the edge of embarrassment kind of thing. You're not sure going on here. Like just recently, a film I watched earlier this year definitely feels like a cult film, but I never got the sense that all of these people were chasing that trend at all. That was Hundreds of Beavers. Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I haven't seen that. Yeah.
Right.
I've heard similar things that it's like it's a film that isn't trying to chase any trends because it is so committed to being what it is.
Exactly. So stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, it's a weird thing, and I've just grown to distrust this almost. Is that kind of almost like a meta performativity to the whole thing about we have to do this thing that we're gonna laugh at deliberately. Why we don't need to do that? Like so, even Ed Wood, in his days was valid, regardless how you feel about him. He was thinking he was making some good shit. He really thought he was cooking. I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
We can get to that debate about that, right? Right.
I think that's the thing about like, and even if he didn't think he was like, I mean, there's a lot of discourse about whether or not, like whether or not Ed Wood was because like the way that Tim Burton's film portrays Ed Wood, it's as this like starry-eyed idealist who doesn't
quite... No, that's a bit misleading, to be fair.
That's a bit misleading. Yeah. Like at the same time, Ed Wood genuinely thought he was making something. Like he did. Like you're right. He thought he was cooking. He thought that he was actually making at least watchable film.
Right.
And then it's only because of the like, it's only because of time.
Right.
That like people that the audience again has kind of been like, no, these are horrendous, but like they're horrendous in an entertaining way, right?
Because you see it in real time too with the Birdemic people, right? Birdemic 1, legit.
No one talks about Birdemic 2.
Right, but Birdemic 2 just they look like they're trying to lean into it now. And it's like, no, this is not something you should lean into. I don't know. Well, that's weird.
Again, Tommy Wiseau, same deal. Tommy Wiseau has never been able to make anything that captured the same zeitgeist as The Room because again, he keeps trying to recapture the zeitgeist of The Room. He keeps trying to capture that moment. Whereas the thing about The Room that I think even Tommy Wiseau is almost embarrassed to admit is that the reason people think it's funny is because he's being so weirdly personal and so weirdly like bearing my heart and soul in this project, especially when in Wiseau's case, the heart and soul he's bearing is a weirdly odious, possessive man.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's an interesting piece of ethics that at the heart of this, about somebody's real emotions, and we can get into that for a later time. But yeah, that's just my last point of why I distrust the whole, this is have to be a cult film kind of mindset. That's all my attitude. Yeah.
Well, I totally understand though, and again, it just makes for such a great debate, right? So
it's somewhat disingenuous. It's disingenuous ex ante thinking now. Like ahead of time, you're making a statement. I don't know, whatever.
All right. Well, just to wrap things up. So I guess for me, because I just like shows that step outside the box and do something a bit different. You know,
Right.
a little style over substance. You know what I mean? A little more style over
Yeah.
substance. Sorry. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was enjoying what I was seeing here, but at the same time, I was asking myself, okay, are they kind of just doing this on purpose? Is it that they're just trying to, you know, okay, so 5-10 years from now, we're gonna, you know, people are gonna call us, you know, people are gonna call this film a cult classic. You know, I was concerned about that. No. Like, it was just going to be about, like, you know, let's just have, you know,
Mhm.
a camera angle be like this, or a fight scene be like that, or whatnot, right? And then the twist came in, and now I was thinking about everything that I saw before. I was like, oh,
Right.
okay, right? Again, not a big, you know, mind-blowing twist, but it
Right.
really show me that no, these people who working on this show really care about what's going on. It's not just about style. It's that no, we're really telling you something here, right? Again, within the context of the show. Again, it's not mind blowing or profound, right? But it totally works on it. It just had me like rethinking about everything that I saw, right? And that leads to like a fantastic third act though, involving a fight scene that will go down as one of the most brutal that I've seen all year, but thoroughly satisfying. I must say though, it really lives up to, you know, yes, just the style of the show in general, right? And last point before I get to rating, right? John Benjamin though, he shines as the
He's
inner
funny.
voice,
Yeah, he's pretty
but
funny in this.
I
Yeah.
read behind the
They
scenes
write
that,
good dialogue for it.
yeah, I read behind the scenes that initially when the show was doing the film festival route, like when it was premiered at this festival, I think one of the criticism was that it's either it was Bill who did the voiceover narration, or there was none altogether. Like
Okay.
people just, you know, it just wasn't enough just seeing Bill pantomime or just be silent throughout the show or whatnot, right? So
Okay.
after the fact, before this was released theatrically, like officially, they kind of came back and did, you know, added
Right.
John Benjamin to the mix,
Yeah,
right?
they do that a lot. You know, I think they did that with Scarlett Johansson and her. I think they do that a lot.
Oh, really?
Like,
Okay, but that
they'll
was,
get
but
somebody.
wait, but but we heard that's part of it though.
Well, no, but
Scarlett's
that
voice
wasn't.
is part of her.
No, she wasn't part of it initially. It was somebody else's voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Which is extra hilarious given, you know, some recent this week shenanigans involving.
I know
Oh,
exactly
I know
what
you're
you're
talking
talking
about.
about.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
All right.
yeah, but they do all the time. They'll just say get somebody popular or somebody workable, and because he's so well known in the voice acting space, that makes some sense. I get why they did it. Like I get it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So I know for some people, right? Just as a wrap up, I know for some people, you know, the inner monologue will be a turn off. It's like, okay, so you literally have to describe how boy is feeling in every single situation. Okay,
Right.
yeah, you want to throw this joke here, all right, okay, you know what I mean? But I think it works in terms of just his dry. Well, of course, is you know, Bob Belcher, right? So you know, it's the voice, that sort of dry delivery. You know what I mean? That it works here, right?
Right.
But yeah, it just adds to the absurdity of what you're seeing, right?
Yeah, it works.
Especially when it comes to like these two random side characters who, personally, I could have done without it. I could have done without, but they were serviceable in the show, and they added a few laughs. But thinking about it again in the context of what's going on now, there's one character, slight spoiler, who was just talking. You would just see like these unintelligible bits of dialogue, right? And you're just there like, all right, why would you have this character in the show be like this, right? When you think about it, because boy is deaf, it could just be the guy is just talking in a foreign, I don't want to say foreign, in another language, and he's just hearing what he thinks the guy is saying, right?
Right.
But we as the audience is hearing this guy seeing the guy saying what boy assumes he's saying. So it's a weird kind of, you know, meta little joke here, but it works for the most part, right? But again, it all goes to show that, yeah, well, I should say the director, Moritz Moore, if I got the surname wrong, forgive me, right? He's the director and the writer. Yeah, actually like cared about this world. Like it wasn't just a train, a bunch of style and a weird shit on here just because, like, no, really want to entertain, I really want to tell a story. But at the same time, it just has this visceral nature to it. It just has this irreverent humor to it, and it just has this bold style to it. That yes, I could wholeheartedly say that in the next 5 or 10 years, we could look back at it and say, yeah, you know, this is a cult classic, right? So last point I'll make before I get to read, you know, my fear with this though is that it might get lost within the clutter of, you know, all these shows that we've begun over the, you know, just all these outside the box kind of action films, for example.
Right.
Like anybody remember Upgrade?
Yeah, forget it.
Remember Upgrade?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
exactly,
remember.
right? Right, yeah, you remember it. And I'll never
I
forget when I
remember
first saw that
Upgrade was
film.
great.
I said that was going to be a cult classic too, right? So
Right.
my point is, I think like for shows like this, what will add in its longevity, right? Well, one thing is home media, right? So right now I imagine like Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow Video putting this out on Blu-ray with like a
Right.
ton of bonus features or whatnot. I feel like that's the first step. But also just, more screenings, right? More midnight screenings, more
Yeah.
people doing Twitch streams, watching the show and going back to it and whatnot, or, more YouTubers talking about it. I feel that will add to it, and then eventually we could come 10, 20 years from now and say, yeah, Boy Kills World is a cult classic, right? So here's hoping.
Right.
So yeah, for me, rating-wise, I'm going to give this a strong 3.5. I like 4 to 5, man. I really enjoyed it for what it is. I like how weird it was, how outside the box it was with the story and the action and the, just the delivery of everything, right? Just the execution, of it, right? Yeah, I did not expect Bill to actually sell this role, but he did it, right? Which now have me a little concerned for a little movie that we're supposed to get in summer called The Crow.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. I will stop there.
I'm having a good day. I'm thinking about Furiosa. I'm talking about cult movies, and now The Crow. You're reminding me that The Crow is.
All I'll say is that trailer gave away so much. Where it's like you gave away the whole. You gave away the whole movie. You gave away the whole movie.
It
How can you do that?
so ugly.
I don't know.
I was never in line for a new Crow movie because I'd only watched. I watched the original with Brandon Lee. I watched all the direct-to-video sequels, hoping that maybe, just maybe, one of them would be like, "Oh wow, there's a spark of the magic." No, I even kind of hoped that, I never watched Crow Stairway to Heaven, but
funny enough, CC, that was actually that actually showed on local television, like shockingly. I was like, oh wow, and the original film never showed on local television. I had to see it on cable.
Oh no.
But yeah, go on.
Oh man, but no, yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I saw the trailer for it before Furiosa, and I just spent the whole time being like, man. I mean, the original song they seem to have written for this trailer seems pretty good. I can't wait to listen to this later and pretend that the Crow remake doesn't exist because, I don't know, even beyond it being distasteful, even beyond the fact that The Crow is such a singular movie that trying to recapture it, even if you're going to do the original comic in a new way, is just I don't know. There's a weird ugliness to it, right? There's just a weird lack of visual intrigue. Everything is black and gray and just
and the idea audacity to put this out on the anniversary year of the original film, right? But I don't know when it comes out. I guess you'll see.
If I was a single executive, I would have looked at that and gone, "Oh, maybe we should probably not release this the same year. We're already going to get compared. We should probably push it back by a little bit." Yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is. But back to Boy Kills World now. Before we get to your final thoughts and rating, Ricardo. Yes, destined to be a cult classic. You heard it from me. Destined to be a cult classic. But yeah, Ricardo, your final thoughts, rating, and agree with the whole cult classic thing.
Yeah, I give it a high 7. Just fun enough. Just nothing, no big masterpiece, nothing super to write home about, but just good. Just good, competent filmmaking. The action is what sells it. And, that's the main thing about it. I didn't go in expecting anything great. And I'll admit, Monkey Man kind of suck a little bit of the oxygen out of the room in terms of the format and the approach and that whole thing. But other than that, it was enough time for me to pass and kind of forget about Monkey Man, so me to enjoy it anyway. So yeah, I give it a high 7. Not a 8, but a high 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Right, nice.